Before we get started today, we want to let you know that yes, we are coming potentially to a town near you for a night of unpredictable comedy and music. We're going to be in Las Vegas on June 21st, Salt Lake City on June 22nd, Denver on June 23rd, Milwaukee on the 25th, Indianapolis on the 26th, Detroit on the 27th, Omaha, Nebraska on the 29th, and on the 30th of June, we'll be in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
And then starting in September, we're going to pick up in Houston, Texas, September 4th, New Orleans, September 5th, Birmingham, Alabama, the 6th, Jacksonville, Florida, the 7th, Tampa, Florida, the 8th, Albuquerque, New Mexico, November 20th, Phoenix, Arizona, the 21st, Sacramento, California, the 22nd, and Valley Center, California, November 23rd.
Go to redlinklive.com for more info and to buy your tickets.
Let's do a biscuit.
Welcome to Ear Biscuits. I'm Rhett.
And I'm Link. This week at the round table of dim lighting, we're asking the question. What's the question? Oh, what's the secret to 18 plus years of marriage?
Such an important question that you nearly forgot it.
We've recently celebrated our wedding anniversaries. Like, I've been married to Christy for over 19 years. And as of the recording of this, you've been married to Jesse almost 18 years.
We decided to celebrate our anniversaries on your weekend because it was Memorial Day weekend, so we get a 3-day weekend, which means you celebrate your anniversary on your anniversary, and I celebrate my anniversary a week before my anniversary.
I'm forcing your hand.
Now, I will have to then celebrate my actual anniversary, but it'll be a low-key affair.
You'll be like, remember a couple weeks back when we celebrated this?
Well, it's just a week back because my actual anniversary is June 2nd, which is, I'm not even going to say when we're recording this, but it's a few days away. One day after your birthday, big boy.
That's coming up. I'm catching up with you, man. I'm ticking over to 41.
We're going to be the same age. Same age.
That's happened a lot.
It means more now, though, because 41, man.
October 11th
it's a lot more
to
hopeless
June 1st, we're not the same age. And then from June 1st to October 11th, we are the same age. You ever thought about that?
Yeah.
Hey, this isn't about...
No, it's not about us.
This isn't about our birthdays. This is about our marriages.
Yeah.
And we're gonna expose all the secrets.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. It's not like I've got some thoughts, but at the same time, I don't want to set this up like, hey, we've got the key to a long-lasting marriage.
Even though we did.
If you stick around for 50 minutes, you can find out the answer.
We're going to talk about our anniversary trips, what we did, and any hijinks that resulted from that.
Oh,
and then hopefully find a landing point, which is the secret to a long marriage.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I do want to...
You get into ads already?
No, I know.
When you say something like that, I think you're about to do an ad. People are already trying to skip forward.
No, don't skip. This is not an ad. This is just an update because when you turn 41, I would really like you to come to my house. So when you walk in the door, I can have a little surprise for you.
You're making it sound so enticing that I'm probably would nehave come to your house.
Do you remember, I've talked about this a couple of times now, the home automation process that I have been embarking on?
Man, if it's not intermittent fasting, it's your light situation.
Well, the light situation...
You need to fast from your light situation.
Is on lock. It is not quite. I haven't catered what's going to happen. I haven't catered your experience yet. But all I can tell you...
You got something for me for my birthday?
I mean, I can really easily. It's just called a routine, and I go in and say what's going to happen.
Don't undersell it. Play it big if you're going to play it big.
Let me just tell you what I have done. And I have devoted, even though I wasn't the one to actually do the electrical work that was required, I can only imagine. I would still be doing it if I was the one that was responsible for the electrical work. I was only responsible for bulb placement, like bulb insertion. So there's smart bulbs and there's smart switches. And this is covering a lot of my house.
Yeah, I remember.
The only thing that
you said you wanted every single light source to be able to be controlled by your voice.
We're basically there.
Which I thought was overkill, given my experience with the
It turns out that I thought that I was going to have to employ some sort of numbering system like Battleship, but all you have to do is say, like, living room lamps, living room main lights, and you got it covered. Dining room lamp.
I texted Rhett the morning that apparently this was being installed, and I was like, so are you going to come into work today?
Oh, no. I did actually work a lot that day.
I was like, I got to stay here because my lights are going in. My switches are going in. I'm like, oh, great. I ain't going in either.
But let me just
tell you. I don't even have lights to go in.
Let me just tell you, as a man who can now make all kinds of things happen at his house, I can say, for instance, here's Johnny. I can say, hey, Google, which I just activated all your Google Homes. You're welcome. Here's Johnny. And at that point, all the lights will go out. All the lamps that have the multicolor bulbs in them, which I got those bulbs that can be like 16 million different colors. They all turn red.
Okay.
And then the main title from The Shining plays. And then my youngest son begins to cry. Just all part of being an excellent dad.
Every light turns off. The ones that can turn red, turn red.
And your whole house is red. And it literally looks like there's a demon coming from the bedroom. Like, we're downstairs last night.
No, you installed a demon hologram?
No, but like,
what do you mean?
No, you think about this. You're downstairs and there's all this red light around you, and you look upstairs and there's a door cracked, and coming out of the door is just red light. It feels like a horror movie. Like, I found my own self getting scared. And then I realized that my kid was crying, and I was like, I got to back off on this. But I can do that. I also...
Yeah, I'm sure it didn't take any time to set that up.
No.
And I bet you're going to use it all the time.
Well, my kids got so into doing it that I was like, by the end of it, I was like, boys, I'm going to make it where the freaking Google Home can't recognize your voices if you abuse this. Started realizing where it backfired. But also, if you say...
Yeah, here's Johnny eating too much.
If you say, hey, Google, it's Shepard, because Shepard wanted his own situation.
Okay.
All the lights dim. He doesn't like it to be dark. All the lights that can dim, and then all the lights that can change color turn to violet, his favorite color.
Okay.
And then Bruno Mars Versace on the floor plays.
And then what? Does he have a routine?
Because that's his favorite song.
Does he have a dance routine?
He just, no, this is what he does. So I got it all set up for him, and then he was like, Mom, come in here. And he laid back on the couch. He laid back on the couch, and he put his hands behind his head.
Oh.
And he said, I'm going to start saying, hey, HG for Hey Google, okay? HG, it's Shepard. Now, the only thing that's a little bit underwhelming about this, and I'm going to prepare you so when you come and we say...
I got to come at night, obviously.
You got to come at night, and it's not as fast as it should be. So I don't know what's happening. So it's like, hey, Google, HG, it's Shepard. And it's just like 2 seconds pass, all the lights go out. Another second passes, the lights turn violet. 2 more seconds pass, and then the music starts. You want it all to happen at once, and I think in the year 2021, it will all happen at the same time. But it's 2019. I'm ahead of the curve.
Yeah, if this would be the type of thing that, like, in the creative meeting for the commercial, they would be pitching this, and then after, well, we're going to have to put a note on the screen that said, edited for time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they would still sell it that way.
I can also make the whole house seem like a dungeon with people screaming in different locations and different lights coming on and off. But it's a horror movie mode, a horror haunted house mode. I'm a dark individual.
Did you do anything that wasn't wicked, twisted, or insane?
Yeah.
What?
You can make it. You can do like a spacescape, like a lunar landscape, where it turns the house blue and then plays like moon music. That's not creepy. That's awesome. So
you put a lot of work into something.
No,
that
actually,
I can discern no practical value for.
It's called impressing people once. That's the practical value. Anyone who hasn't seen it,
at least you're honest. I mean, because that's all of it.
But it's fun. Here's the thing.
Now, but you've also controlled. You have some practical stuff, right? I mean, have you not made it where, like, at sunset, certain lights turn on?
Oh yeah. That was
different times of night they turn off.
Step one was every single morning this happens every single night. Like literally sunrise and sunset, you have it respond to sunrise and sunset. And then when I say HG good night, all the lights in the house go off. And then when I say, and then if Jessie wants to have a party, she says, HG, it's party time. And then all the lights, here's what my wife does. When we're going to have people over, she goes around cutting on all the lamps and getting everything right. I set it the way that she wanted. I say, baby, all you got to do is tell Google it's party time, and it will set everything the way you want it. So all that was taken care of. And then once I had all that done, I was like, where else can I go from here? And that's when I started getting creative. But let me tell you, as a man who can literally drag himself around his house, never having to touch anything, and can control all this. Just this weekend, I saw the last bulb, and I was like, this is everything that I ever wanted. Mm-hmm. I sat down on my couch as my entire house was bathed in red demonic light, and I was listening to the Shining theme. And I thought, this can't be all there is.
That's good. That's good. Because I was going to say, I've noticed a phrase that you said a number of times as you bragged about your lights. And that phrase is, as a man. So let me ask you, is that what this is about?
And I think as a human, I'm not saying as a man.
Okay, I was just asking.
I'm just saying,
is this about your manhood?
No, it's not about my manhood. What I'm getting at is that, and you know me, and this is largely what
you got a lot of questions about your manhood.
This is what largely drives me and makes me sort of the driven person that I am. Is that I see something and I can visualize that moment that I'm going to be on the couch, having just said, "Here's Johnny," and all the things that I described happening, and for that moment to take place, I will do everything to get to that point. Right? I will make everything that needs to happen to get to that point. But then inevitably, when I get there, I'm like, what else? Now what? What else? Now I can control everything with my voice.
Do you have any motorized blinds?
No, but I have a hub that is prepared for them.
I do. Well, I got them in my bathroom. So I'm just saying, I'm already ahead of you on that front.
Can you control them with your voice?
No.
You easily can, though. You need to get the Lutron hub.
As a man, I don't feel the need to control them with my voice. I can control them with my finger.
Well, you want me to tell you what happens when I say, I'm in my bedroom and I say, hey, Google, it's business time?
Nope. Definitely not.
Because there is a program that it follows at that point as well. And I'm not making it up. The one thing I don't have.
I get it.
The one thing I don't have is I don't have the motorized blinds, which I told Jessie, I was like, when we read, because she wants to redo the bedroom, I said, well, you get the motorized blinds, and when I say it's business time, the blinds will go down too.
I'm a blinds open guy.
You want your neighbors to be intimately familiar with you.
But no, it's not about them. I just
want to see the stars.
The daylight. Whatever, man.
Oh, in the daylight. Yeah, it doesn't happen in the daylight. I'm saying that the blinds don't go down in the daylight. They only go down in the nighttime.
I think all of this raises a specific question, which is very much on topic today. Not about lights at all. It's about how on earth could someone be married to Rhett McLaughlin for 18 years? I think that's what it brings into focus, for me at least.
Someone who caters, it gets the perfect environment for you to make love in? I think that's easy to stay married to. So someone who has controlled their house to be conducive to lovemaking, I think that's an asset. That's not something to overcome.
And let's not forget all the other things like, hey honey, I made our house into a sonic dungeon.
She didn't like that much. Anyway, let's talk about our trips. But first, we are going to talk about the shirts that we're wearing.
We sell stuff. You can wear it, and it'll make you feel connected to a greater purpose.
I've got a shirt.
That purpose is up to you.
I've got a shirt that says Ear Biscuits on it. It has the two of us on it, which is weird because the two of us are currently making an ear biscuit.
Right.
Think about that. You can get this at mythical.store.
You can get these mugs. You can get everything that we sell at mythical.store or our Amazon store if it's not there. This is a shirt that I'm fond of.
What do we call it? Mythicality.
Connectivity.
That's the connectivity from the mythicalities. Where is that available? Is that Amazon now, or is that store? That's still the store, mythical.store.
Go to mythical.store. We love to see it when you post your pictures. We repost those on the Mythical Instagram feed. So let us have it. Let us have it. Hashtag
Mythical merch.
Mythical merch. Thank you for supporting entertainment.
Okay, so where'd you go?
I went to Malibu, man. I got a private house. I'll say I got an Airbnb in Malibu that was a house all to ourselves, but it was a guest house. And I do need, and I will go into more detail about how this house was set up, because the surroundings were quite interesting. But I was very excited to have a couple of nights away, just me and Christy, to reflect on our 19 years of marriage. Oh, I love her so much. I know she's listening. I love you so much. And I was really excited because I'm a fan of Airbnb. I'm a fan of renting a whole place. And now you got to bring all your own stuff. But I'm the type, as opposed to a hotel where they'll clean up after you every day, and like you can order room service and you can do it. I know you did something like that, and I'm not dogging that. I'm just saying that those are all amenities that you don't have in Airbnb. That's a factor. But for me, an overriding factor is there's more privacy, and there's more of a sense of control. I already bring so much crap, and I do want to tell you some of the stuff that I brought.
For a two-night
trip, because I don't know if you know, but I'm a little peculiar about the things that I like to have.
Yep.
In order to make things perfect.
I'm familiar with this.
But for starters, I'll just say that I found this place on Airbnb that was it's on like a studio apartment situation type guest house, and it was right on the beach. Like, there was a little kitchenette, a little living area, a little bedroom area, all kind of connected in one space. And then the sliding glass doors, the whole front was just two sections of sliding glass doors and then one sliding glass door on the side.
And then you have to walk downstairs to the beach?
There's a deck right there, and there were like two big loungers. And then right on the other side of that, you step down off the deck, and you're just on the beach.
So the water doesn't come up onto the deck?
The water came up to the high tide line came up probably 20 feet from the edge of the deck.
Oh, you usually don't get that much beach in Malibu with those houses. It's like,
yeah, sometimes a lot of the houses are built literally over the high tide line, right. So the waves will crash like right on the foundation, under your deck. So it was a perfect spot where there was always a little bit of beach. But I was like, whoa, this is quite a find. I mean, there's not a lot of places that you can rent out in Malibu. And if you are, you're renting like a whole house and you're paying a crap ton of money. And you're like setting up a whole party. Never done that.
And you're not dealing with a lot of people because this is like a private area. Like, so there's not a bunch of people walking by.
They say all the beaches are private, but no beach can be made private, but there were signs on all of the decks around there that said private property.
The people try to say that it's a huge dispute. Yeah.
They try to say that it's a private beach, but technically the sign says private from the mean high tide line and up to the house.
There's an app that I have on my phone. I can't remember. It's like Malibu Beaches or something like that.
Yeah.
It's an app that someone who was upset with the homeowners who were keeping everybody out from the public beaches made to show you all the access points to all these beaches, because they're like, there are no private beaches and you can go right behind somebody's house if you want.
So that's where we elected to go. Tell me where you went, and we can kind of ping pong it.
I went to Palm Springs, stayed in a hotel. I'm not going to say the name of the hotel because I'm going to be talking about people that I saw there. And, I don't want to betray. And also I'm going to be complaining a little bit.
Okay.
Probably we'll go back to this place. Maybe. So I just want to keep the name unmentioned.
Okay. Is it like Red Roof Inn.
Yeah, it's the Ramada. It's
It's a nice spot.
It's a
right?
nice hotel in Palm Springs. And again, Jesse and I'm pretty flexible. Airbnb versus hotel is I'm kind of open. I see advantages and disadvantages to both. She's all about the hotel experience. She likes to. She just basically is like, I don't want to have to be cleaning up after everybody. I want somebody to do it for me. And
because you'll make a mess.
And our boys are just animals. They're just animals.
Well, you didn't bring your boys.
No. I'm just saying. But like, she's dealing with them. It's like having two very large ferrets. You know what I'm saying? It's just they pee everywhere. Your family's clean. My family's not. My family's
hold
dirty.
a ferret. They're squiggling everywhere.
Yeah.
Leaving poop in your hands.
And please don't say, well, ferrets make great pets. Ferrets don't make great children. That's what I'm saying, okay? And that's what I have. Anyway, so she also being able to go. We discovered recently that the idea of going, and this comes into play later, the idea of just going and sitting next to the pool and chilling out and not having any responsibilities and being able to read or write, whatever you want to do, coupled with people watching, which is an especially nice thing to do in Palm Springs, especially at a place like this hotel. We were very primed for reading, lounging, and people watching.
Okay.
That's what we were ready for.
I was not ready for any people watching, but don't let me forget that it ended up happening, and you reminded me of it, so I need to tell you that. All right, so in preparation for my trip, I was so excited. I was like weeks ahead of time. I was making a list. I was like, man, it's going to be cold. It's not going to be, like, by my definition, like 60 degrees is cold. I need to bundle up.
Especially at the beach, and especially in a California beach. A lot of people don't understand it.
You can't get in the ocean unless you're crazy.
You got to have a wetsuit.
You got to be like a ferret to get in the ocean.
Right.
Like a ferret child.
You have to have a fur coat.
It's so cold that only, what is it about children? And again, I didn't bring my children on this trip, but like, you'll dip your toe into like any sort of water and be like, whoo! I might die if I submerge like past my heart. And then all of a sudden some kids are sprinting by and they're just like frolicking all in it. They're impervious to temperature. They can swim around in all these like frigid temperatures like it's nothing. Like, what is that? Are they stupid?
Yeah, well, yeah, they are. They're a little bit stupider, for sure.
And it's not like, whoa, this is so cold, it's invigorating. They don't say anything about it. They're just in it. It's like, oh, this is fun because I'm in water.
I don't think they've developed the nerve endings that we have. They have fully developed nerve endings.
So I'm like, I'm going to make a list because I don't want to forget anything that's important to me. And I wrote on the list, like, cozy clothes. And then I was like, I'm going to bring sweatpants.
That doesn't fall under cozy clothes?
I said, I got to get specific.
Cozy clothes and sweatpants are two different categories?
It's a subcategory. My list has bullet points and then like sub-bullets.
Got it.
Under cozy clothes, it had sweatpants, and then it had like
slippers,
those thinner sweatpants,
old t-shirts,
and then it had like those pajama pants, and then it had my slippers, my bedroom slippers, and then it also had but if I know that I'm gonna go in the shower. The shower was disconnected. You had to walk across a little bit of decking to get to the shower.
Main shower?
The only shower.
You had to go outside.
The shower had a toilet and a sink in it. It was like an outhouse, but it was in between the guest house and the main mansion, which was right on the other side. And I knew this from the pictures, that this was just a guest house connected to a mansion.
Did you meet the mansion people?
It was not connected. I'll tell you in a minute. So I knew on my list I had to have some flip-flops because I'm going to be taking a shower on like a decking.
You don't want to get a splinter.
I want to get a splinter
or athlete's foot.
Yeah. And then I'm like, I'm bringing my own pillows. I'm bringing my own blankets.
Oh, gosh.
Multiple blankets. Because I know how it'll be if I'm wrapped up in a blanket. And then Christy's like, well, I don't have a blanket. I'm like, I got you a blanket too. We both had blankets. We both had pillows. And then I'm like, you know what?
Did you bring a trailer, like a tractor trailer, with all your stuff in it?
No. All this fit inside my vehicle because it was all mushy. Everything I packed was like so comfy, it was compressible. And then I'm like, the pièce de résistance. Never been done before. I'm bringing sleeping bags. And I'm not talking about just like a little sleeping bag. I was like, I need to get these things out anyway, let them air out. They've been stored up for a couple of years since we haven't been camping. I'm going to bring out my mummy bags. Because I'm
for
like
beach sleeping?
For just beach lounging. Like, even if I'm on the lounge chairs or laying on the beach, like, I'm like, the stars are going to come out, we're going to lay on the beach, and it's going to be romantic, but it's going to be freezing. And I bet you we're not going to want to do it unless we, like, can be in, like, 14-degree rated sleeping bags, because I'm very cold-natured.
Right.
So we got these, like, the mummy bags that come over your head, and then you can only see your eyes and, like, your nose if you elect to put that out of the hole.
It's very romantic.
Yeah. I was so excited, man. I got all that stuff. And then I'm like, and we can't forget the foods, like the comfort foods, because again, I can't order room service. I got to have it with me.
Right.
And there's not a lot of places.
Service your own room.
It's only like 2 grocery stores in Malibu.
Malibu doesn't have anything. I don't even, people say there's like a market. I don't know. I've never.
The market's big now. It's kind of like lots of frou-frou shops.
There's got to be something.
Yeah.
It's Malibu.
And I'm like, all right, we got to. Christy loves cheese. Cheese is going on the list. We both got to have some fruits, like some raspberries and blueberries. And I got to have my peanut butter.
You're still on the list, by the way.
I'm talking like
You're still on the list of things that you.
I'm not even there yet.
This haven't even arrived yet.
And then I'm like, chips. Like, I don't eat chips normally. I'm like, if this vacation is going to be made, I'm going to be snuggled up in a sleeping bag on the beach eating chips. And I'm like, and they got to be those Ruffles sour cream and cheddar chips.
Those are the best.
Those are the jam. And look, I told Christy I was going to get those, and I was like, and you know what? Lay's now has unruffled, unridged, normal Lay's sour cream and cheddar flavor. I saw them in Ralph's.
Did they put the sour cream before the cheddar, or you just mix that up? They call it something different.
I think they call it sour cream and cheddar.
Yeah. Keep people guessing.
And I told Christy, and she went to the store. She was like, they don't have them, but I got the Ruffles, and I got Pringles sour cream and cheddar.
Okay, we've got lots of options.
A few days later, I'm like, we don't have enough LaCroix. I got to go back to Ralph's because we're still prepping. And then she's leaving, and
we haven't left yet.
I'm driving home, and I meet her as she's leaving, and I hold out the window. Lay's sour cream and cheddar chips. So we get there. We get in our cozy clothes. We both had on camo sweatshirts and camo sweatpants, the ones we sell on our website. We were so comfortable.
Wow.
And we were having like a good mythical morning tasting. Like, that was the first thing we did, was we broke out all of the sour cream and cheddar chips and started tasting them and figure out which ones are the best. And you weren't even there.
And which is the best?
The Ruffles.
The Ruffles didn't get better than Ruffles. They started it.
The Lay's were kind of unnatural. It was like, I know what Lay's should be, and I know what the experience is, and like sour cream and onion, like they're the best. They're the best chips. But you start throwing cheese on a Lay's, something goes a little sideways. Okay. But those Ruffles, the thing you come to associate with it, it's still the best. And Pringles, I don't even want to talk about it. Christy loved them, but Pringles aren't even chips to me. I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, don't. I took a very small. I took a small suitcase that I packed approximately 30 minutes before I walked out the door.
Did you bring a sleeping bag for like the poolside?
No sleeping bags, no pillows, no blankets. Interestingly, because it's been unusually cool here, it's actually unusually cool there. It was like 85 degrees on Saturday, which typically this time of year would be over 100.
Yeah. So that's kind of perfect for poolside situation.
It's perfect if you get to the poolside. Which turned out to be a little bit of an issue.
You couldn't find the pool?
No, I found the pools. I found 2 pools, but they were completely filled. So Saturday, with people, water and people, and no places to sit. Let me back up a little bit because I got to just kind of ease into this. Now, I heard about this place. First of all, you go to Palm Springs on Memorial Day weekend in a nice hotel. You're in. There's a high possibility of seeing someone that you would recognize from the world of entertainment, right? That's sort of close proximity to Los Angeles and Palm Springs, whatever. And I kind of heard that this is a place. This is a people watch. Spotting kind of place.
Hot spot.
I pull up in my car to have them welcome us to the hotel, whatever. And I'm right behind a family that's gotten there at the exact same time with us, and that family was Michael Richardson family.
Kramer from Seinfeld.
Yes, and interestingly, so we check in basically right next to them, and then I saw them around, and I saw Kramer in the hot tub and stuff. And the nature of the conversation that Jesse and I had, which is just I will have it again with you. It's just like you got this guy who, if you had to tell somebody who didn't know who Michael Richards was, you'd probably say what? You say, well, he was on this famous show.
Yeah, he was a tall guy in Seinfeld. He was super funny, and he would, he had a license plate on his car that said, "Man."
But then,
and every time he walked in, everyone would cheer and clap. But it was awesome.
But then
there was a controversy because he got belligerent at like a stand-up. Somebody was filming him, and he spouted some racial epithets.
Yeah, so like as bad as it gets. And what year would you think that was?
I don't know, 2004?
Oh, yeah, 2006. I was like, I thought it was more recent. It was 2006, so 13 years ago, right? This guy who was known and beloved for playing this character does this thing that now, like, when you go to his Wikipedia entry, it's like, that's kind of the thing that you find. And
okay.
So we're talking about a guy who was canceled before people got canceled. You know what I'm saying? Like, now we're in the whole cancel culture, but yeah, this is back when you really had to lean into it, and you had to do something to get canceled. So you got canceled, and and like he doesn't do stand up anymore. I know nothing about the guy.
Did you talk to him?
No, I didn't talk to him.
You just talked about him.
Yeah, but it was just interesting because I was like, I just wonder what this guy's life is like now. I mean, obviously,
same as yours, apparently.
Obviously, he made enough money. And probably continues to bring in a lot of money with the syndication of Seinfeld. I don't know how that works, but that he's able to go to this hotel and he's got a family or whatever. But yeah, he's because of that thing he did, and the conclusions, potentially rightfully so, that people came to about him because of the thing that he did. That's just what he's known for. It was just kind of an interesting thing to be like, I look at this guy, and that's what I'm thinking about, and he knows that's what everyone's thinking about. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just an interesting thing that kind of, whether you want to call it a mistake or whether you wanted to call it, he was just being himself and his true self came out, whatever you want to say, however you want to judge that. That is what people know him for. And it was just an interesting thing to just be around it.
But that was kind of what you're looking for with the people watching. Now you got this fascinating case study and like public perception.
Yeah, and I'm like, is he constantly? Surely he's no longer constantly thinking about it, because you couldn't live your life if you're constantly thinking about that. But we'll move on from Michael Richards.
You didn't find a place at the pool. You saw him when you checked in.
I saw him when I checked in. Okay, so then the next morning we decide. We had already made reservations to get a massage. When you go, it's another thing you don't. You don't get in an Airbnb unless you call somebody in. And when you call somebody in for a massage, things get weird.
No, there's other ways to get a massage.
Okay, all right. So we went to this, but they had this incredible spa that was like sailor themed. It was totally ridiculous, but in a very interesting, fun way.
I would like to retract my statement earlier, by the way.
Okay.
After 19 years of marriage, there is no other way.
There's no other way. Good.
It's like, let's be real.
Good recovery.
I mean, we're not gonna sit around and just like give each other a massage. I mean, we pay other people to do that. You're exactly right. And there's other things we can do, but massages that requires,
interesting. Okay, again, this is a Seinfeld reference that I didn't even realize until right now. But we get there, and the woman at the front desk says, I'm like, here for our 9 o'clock massage or whatever. And she's like, I need to inform you that we only have male masseuses available. Is that okay? And of course, my knee-jerk reaction is to be like, yes, of course. But then the George Costanza in me is thinking, well, I'm not as comfortable with that. And I don't know why, right?
Yeah, I've gotten an all-male massage before.
But the funny thing is Jessie said, as we were waiting, she was like, it's interesting that both of us are more comfortable with receiving a massage from a woman. And now, because we're receiving a massage from a man, it's different. And I was like, you know what? But it's not really. I've never gotten a massage from a man. So I was like, but you know what? I'm in Palm Springs. It's no different. I'm going to lean into it. I believe I had the best massage I've ever had. I am still sore.
Because you didn't make it sexual. Or he was just good at it.
I've never made a massage sexual, which is the weird thing.
But isn't there subconscious sexual component?
That's the George. Because the whole episode was about if it's not sexual, which is not. It's somebody rubbing your muscles in a technically non-intimate way. They're rubbing your muscles for
a clinical way,
for in like a therapeutic way. But because we're animals, we're humans, you naturally interpret the touch as sensual, right? There's oil involved, there's music playing, the lights are low, there's rubbing involved. I mean, all the ingredients are, of course, I didn't say it's business time.
Okay, spa.
I didn't say it's business time.
Sounds.
And it didn't turn on my lights a certain color that I like particularly, and lower my shades and play the playlist that I've meticulously put together. But everything else was, this is a sensual environment. But then in the moment, and so then it was like, so why is it that if you sense this as a slightly sensual environment, that therefore it makes you more comfortable if a woman is the one doing it?
This is kind of exposing.
What does that say about it? Right? And so I quit. I got out of my own head and I was like, I'm just here for a massage. And it was, I'm telling you, it was next level.
Well, if you want to,
this guy found parts of me that I didn't know I had.
And then he rubbed them out of you.
He worked me so hard.
That's great.
In a completely non-sensual way.
That's great. You know what?
In a totally professional therapeutic way. Yeah. So
and now you know what type of energy you need to bring to every massage.
Well, and then I started thinking that I was having sexist thoughts about masseuses. I got through with the massage and I was like, that's the best massage I've ever had. And I was like, am I saying that because it was a man? What's wrong with me? I just think too much, man.
Well, I think you need to think more, but just quietly.
My wife fell asleep.
Oh, really? Did you hear her snore?
Yes. She does it every single time we do a couples massage.
There's not enough pain?
Just towards the end of it. She told me before we went in, she said, if I fall asleep and start snoring, you have to say something. And then it happened. And I was like, it's almost over. Yeah, I just let it ride. And then she woke herself up. She snored so loud.
Really?
Yeah, one time.
I've done that before. It feels weird when you're like, oh, how long have I been out? They just been... if, you could gently just stop and the masseuse could just, take a breather.
Right.
It's like to keep working it.
Yeah, go on their phone.
Yeah. One hand on the phone.
But that's why I didn't get a spot at the pool, because the early morning massage, and then you get out to you get out there at 11 o'clock, no spots. The grounds are incredible, so we went and we sat in some chairs somewhere, and then we got in a hammock and read. It was awesome, but we didn't get to do the people watch.
Were people saving?
No.
Lounge chairs.
They have a strict.
I hate that.
They have a strict no saving policy because they know that they don't have enough space. So they say that if you're gone for 20 minutes,
they're gonna move your stuff.
They move your stuff. So we put our names on a list, and we literally never got called.
Oh wow!
We didn't get called. Never went to we eventually got into the family pool, onto the family pool.
But there were kids there. That sucked.
And that's when I met another person of note. But I've been talking for too long. So what else happened with you?
Well, as you can imagine, we got our chips, we got our blankets, we got our sweatpants on. That next morning, we went to a nice restaurant that first night, but that first day, there was no one on the beach in front of us. It was it was almost eerie that there wasn't. I mean, this was Memorial Day weekend. There's nobody on this beach because it's like it feels like a private beach, and there's not many access points. And on the access points, there's not much parking. Like Malibu is again, it was kind of extraordinary to get this place, but
it's designed to keep the people out.
We laid on our lounge chairs and we watched the ocean and just kind of talked and hung out and ate our chips. Tried to figure out which ones were the best. I told you the answer to that. But it was glorious. I told Chrissy after a while, I was like, we're sitting here, we're watching these waves just with as much intention as we watch an episode of Game of Thrones. And I use the word intention, I mean, there's a little bit of there's a meditative aspect to the waves, and I began to reflect on it, and I was like, it kind of feels like when you're camping and you just find yourself staring at the campfire. That's one of my favorite things about camping is that, yes, you could be on your phone, but you're not tempted to, go watch Game of Thrones in your tent. You're mesmerized by the fire. And in a very similar way, we're, mesmerized by the ocean waves right there, just beyond eye shot of our toes, well, or the end of the sleeping bags. And my reflection was, I think that there's something about being so close to something so powerful as either fire or the ocean, and knowing that you're completely safe. But there's this constant, it could kill you if it got out of control.
Especially when you're in a sleeping bag.
But you're right there.
You get in the ocean in a sleeping bag, especially one of those mummy ones, up right in your eyes, you're a goner.
Yeah, you're going to the bottom.
Yeah, fast.
But there's something meditative about sitting there and there's people who they live on the beach and they get to know everything. Like some dolphins started coming by. Sometimes we paddleboard and we paddleboard over the pod of dolphins. Like you see them come by and then you get to know the birds, and the more you sit there with a little discipline to not do anything else. We didn't even read a book. The more the scene kind of comes alive. It's like, oh, there's birds over there and they're diving into the ocean. It was in explaining it doesn't seem that special, but it was a very special moment for us. And then you talk about people watching. All of a sudden, this bodybuilder dude, shirtless bodybuilder, bald behemoth with big muscles, comes down and he had headphones on. And he takes his headphones off. He doesn't see us. He puts them down on the beach in front of us. And then
because you're in camo.
And then because we were in camo. And these two dogs run up to him. And I was like, oh, they were his dogs. And then he gets out his camera and he starts his phone, his camera on his phone, and he goes into this
he has a camera on his phone?
Yeah, pretty crazy. And he goes into this long, drawn out photo session where he's flexing and leaning over and taking pictures.
How close are you to this man? How does he not see you?
Well, there was some grass kind of growing in front of us, and we were kind of hunching down and whispering about it.
Hiding from him.
But I did film it. I would say he was about, I don't know, I'd say he's about 30 yards away, but I'm not a football player.
Were the dogs in play?
The dogs were he was taking selfies with him and his two dogs.
He was just flexing dog pictures.
Yeah. And then...
That's a fetish.
The dude was had bulbous muscles, the ones on your shoulder and on your back.
Traps. Lats.
He had it all, man. And he was taking photos, and we were watching him. And we started to feel uncomfortable. Yeah. I started to feel like I needed to make noise. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, so and be like, hey, man, we're here.
Yeah, you're being watched, sir.
But we didn't. And then when he got done taking his photos for his Instagram, apparently, then he's putting his headphones on and getting his dogs back on the leash, and Chris is he's gonna see us, and then he scans back this way, and I'm like, he just saw us. I was like, I'm gonna give him the thumbs up.
Yeah,
gave him thumbs up. And then he didn't stare at me. He just kind of I could tell he saw me and then acted like he didn't. He's like, oh, now I'm gonna play it cool. I meant to be here. I knew you were watching. It's fine.
Thumbs up.
Then he walks away, and I look over, and I'm like, this mansion beside me. This is interesting. There's no signs of life there. It's a huge, like, 1990s era modern style, like white with just windows all over it. And it was clearly on the same property, and we were in the guest house. But there's no signs of life there. And so I walk over there through the gate. I'm like, oh, there's a gate there beyond the outhouse. And I look in, and it's like, it's gutted. The freaking mansion's gutted. Like they halted in the middle of renovations. And I'm like, of course, now I'm going to check all the doors to see if any of them are unlocked. Because I want to explore this place. It's huge. The only door that was open led to the, yeah, you're surprised, the eyebrows going up, led to the basement. So I opened the door, and then there's like a long staircase down to the basement. It's pitch black. So I'm like, I got to go back and get my phone. For my flashlight.
Your phone has a flashlight on it?
Yeah, dude. What? I'm telling Chrissy, I'm going down in this basement. She's like, I'm staying here in the sleeping bag.
Good.
I turn on the flashlight, and I go down there, and it smells like a basement. And there's like this room with like padding all over it, and there's this cymbal cleaner. And I'm like, oh, a musician like a drummer used to drum down there.
Cymbal cleaner, okay.
And it was like this creepy basement, and then I realized, oh, the light switches turn on. Lights still work. So I put my flashlight away. I was still kind of creeped out. And then there was a wine cellar.
Yeah, you're trespassed.
That had no wine anywhere except one open bottle of champagne on the floor. And I'm like, I didn't drink it or anything. But it was kind of creepy. And I'm like, man, what if I get caught down here? And then I walked over and I opened this door, and I can't believe I was doing this. All right, can you believe that I did this?
I'm a little surprised.
Something you would do, but I'd be too afraid to do this. I was like, what would Rhett do? He would open this door, and that's an elevator. What? So I get in the elevator.
No.
Like, I'm not getting in the elevator. Yeah.
Just getting stuck in somebody's abandoned elevator.
Yeah, that would suck. So then I came back and I told Chrissy about it. I'm like, yeah, the house is gutted, and this is what I found. And I just kept lounging. But after that point, I just couldn't help but keep looking over there at that mansion. And then just to skip ahead, when it got dark, I found myself getting pretty creeped out about this mansion. And I started to realize when we walked down the beach earlier today, there were a couple of other mansions on this one particular street that this guest house was on. And all of the homes were under some stage of reconstruction or renovation, and it had been halted. And so on either side, there's two huge mansions, nobody in them, abandoned. And as the sun went down,
You transported it to another time.
I just started to get creeped out by it. I was like, is this going to ruin my night? Because I just started feeling like zombies could be in there or something. It was post-apocalyptic. This one particular beach access private road had all these mansions on it. And my theory is some weird Malibu zoning regulation issue. Everybody had to stop renovations, and like no one wants to buy or sell or move on this stuff. But this one guy, he like put up the guest house on Airbnb. It was very clean and nice and new. But I mean, on one hand, it was creepy. On the other hand, it provided like complete privacy on either side, because these mansions that were looming over us, and like all the windows are open, there's nobody in there. And
Muscle Dog Man he's just a visitor?
He had walked down from somewhere else. So I would say that was the only drawback, was like I was a little creeped out by the fact that like we were in an abandoned neighborhood, basically.
It sounds pretty cool to me, man.
I was creeped out. I didn't want to tell Chrissy, but Chrissy didn't seem to be creeped out, so I didn't want to tell her.
I don't think it's that creepy. I mean,
you know how there's like...
If you were staying in one of the houses...
Like, there's like Instagram feeds that are just like abandoned porn. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, well... Yeah.
Not abandoned porn.
Ruin porn.
Yeah, ruin porn. It's basically just people taking pictures of architecture that nobody's inhabited it for like decades.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I have a whole book about that.
It's different when you're camping there.
We are going to get to the secret to a long marriage. So I do want to tell one more story before.
Spoiler alert! I think I'm kind of answering it along the way. But
okay, I saw someone else while we were at the pool. Now, first of all, we were at the pool, and
see Seinfeld.
Kramer's in the hot tub, and we're sitting there lounging, And we finally got this spot at the family pool. And I'm trying to get away from my kids. And I got all these freaking kids like playing games and yelling at each other and splashing. It's horrible. That's what happens at the family pool. That's why there's an adults only pool. But it was too freaking filled. So anyway, I'm sitting there just despising children that they even exist. And then they all of a sudden they say, "Excuse me, everyone out of the pool." What? First of all, I wasn't in the pool. I was on the side. Never got in the pool. Didn't touch the water. Thankfully.
Oh no!
I think a kid took it in the pool or something. Really? I don't know what happened, but they made everybody get out. And 30 minutes had to pass, and they like cleaned some stuff, and they put some chemicals in there.
Yeah, you know it.
In the meantime,
somebody doing some logging.
Lots of people kept showing up and starting to get into the pool, and because Jesse and I were seated right next to the corner of the pool, we became the pool police.
Oh no!
So I literally had to wait for people to get in and be like, sorry guys, no one's supposed to be in the pool. Now, after 4 times.
You waited for them to get in first, though?
No, because I was reading. I'm reading, and then I would look up, and there'd be somebody putting their feet in the pool. That's just, you can't get in there. They're doing their cleaning. So then Jesse was like, you need to tell them to put a sign up, because we shouldn't have to do this. We shouldn't have to be the pool police.
That's right.
But then a family walked up, and I was like, oh, it's that guy. And he was getting ready to get in the pool. I'm like, you can't get in the pool right now. There's chemicals or something in there. And then he said something. He was British. He had a quippy sort of response, like, thanks for the radioactivity warning or something like that. And I was like, that's the guy. Who that crap? That guy's in everything. It's one of those guys, like, have no idea what your name is, sir, but I have, and I can't even say what the last movie I saw that you were in, but you're in everything. You're a world-class actor. I just kept you and your family from getting into a turd pool. And
you were glad there wasn't a sign.
So then I was like, what? I just saw a movie with this guy in it. I just saw a movie, and this guy was the villain. He was the villain. Shazam! He's the villain from Shazam.
Oh, I thought when you realized something, you just now said Shazam.
Shazam! I got it. He's from Shazam. Turns out, of course, I still don't know his name, right? So then I have to go on IMDb and follow the rabbit hole.
He's bald.
He's the bald guy from Shazam. His name is Mark Strong.
Okay.
And you have seen this man. You know who he is. And not only was he in Shazam, this guy has just a storied acting career. I mean, he's been in everything.
What are you doing? Like, you were asking him this? What have you been in?
No, because I'm on IMDb, and he was in this, and then I watch
You're sitting there in your lounger on IMDb,
and then I watch a Watch Mojo thing on YouTube of all his top 10 performances, and of course this is so.
Hold on, right there in the lounger.
No. He had left.
You were still in the lounger watching.
Yeah,
Watch Mojo.
I went into a Mark Strong wormhole. And he was somewhere else on the property enjoying himself. And then that night, we go to the restaurant, sit down. Mark Strong and family come and sit down next to us. And I'm just kind of listening in to his conversation with the waiter as he orders. He orders with so much gravitas and authority. I mean, you got to be around. You wouldn't understand until you were around Mark Strong, or at least in close proximity to him. This guy's a class act.
What were you saying these type of things to Jesse?
Every time I saw him, because Jesse got so annoyed, I started leaning into him. I said, I would be like, world-class actor Mark Strong is here. I would be like, one of the greatest actors of our time, Mark Strong and family just arrived to the restaurant.
Okay.
And I had a good time with that. It worked for a while. She thought it was very funny, and then she thought it was annoying, and then I did stop. Never talked to him. But it's pretty thrilling.
The only other people I saw were at the same spot as the sun was going down. These 2 girls in bikinis came up, and they started taking pictures, apparently for their Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy thing to do. They didn't see us either. And for 20 minutes, they're sitting there taking pictures, looking at the pictures, not being happy, taking more pictures. The girls showed up in bikinis. And then they set up the camera with the timer like on the backpack, and then they would get up and she would run and like pose beside her friend, stick her butt out.
Yeah, you got to.
And then she would look at the picture, and then Chrissy would be like, yeah, too much butt. And then she would go back and she would do it again, and she would turn her butt and it wouldn't be out as far. Like Chrissy knew exactly, she could read their minds.
Yeah, too much butt.
And then the one girl, she put on jean shorts.
I gotta have a George shot.
Yeah. And then the other girl put on pants.
Yep.
And it got less and less interesting to me.
You know why they do that? It make it seem like they're going back.
What do you mean
Multiple
going back?
trips. Be like, oh, this is. You can post multiple times. You can